It allowed for a complete separation of the races and ethnicities. It was deemed separate but equal, but in reality, only a 10% white minority received privilege, while the rest of the population, black population, Malay population, Indian population, and others, suffered the effects of suppression, namely poverty, hard labor, a poor education system, restricted living situations, and the inability to vote. Although through the likes of Mandela, South Africa is a freer nation than it was, the lingering effects of apartheid still exist and cause complications for the country. South Africa is in a state of transition today, and at the helm is Zuma. In my research, I identified 3 crucial points Zuma must follow in order to improve current conditions in the country. He must improve his public image, he must appeal to all citizens of South Africa, and he must mobilize and motivate his people. His public image is not the most favorable, because he follows a more traditional African lifestyle. He has multiple wives, and to date, he has fathered up to 20 children. He has also been accused of fraud and racketeering, although those charges were later dropped at the tail end of the 2009 campaign. However, he is backed by Nelson Mandela and is a member of the ANC, which carries a lot of sway in South Africa. I had the opportunity to talk to a woman named Linda Fortune, who actually admitted to me that she was actually afraid to tell her friends that she had voted for the opposing party, the Democratic Alliance, just because her friends may judge her. That is how much power the ANC still has, even 16 years after apartheid. In South Africa, social problems arise across the board, in education, health, rural development, and more. What I will comment on mostly about these issues is that there needs to be effective leadership in order to come to a comprehensive solution. Zuma must mobilize and motivate the people. There is already a lot of promising material out there, such as the South African Constitution, which is probably one of the most liberal documents to date. The South African Constitution encourages environmental sustainability and acceptance of others to a degree unheard of even in our own nation. These policies, as strong as they may sound, are not being enforced to the degree they should be. According to the South African Police Service, 1,115 police stations exist in the country. The population is roughly 50 million. This translates to a vital need in enforcement, an increase of enforcement, and the propagation of the ideals that the fledgling nation wants to promote. In order to combat some of these issues, Zuma introduced a medium-term strategic framework after he was elected. The plan outlined 10 areas of concentration and included goals in education, healthcare, unemployment, and sustainability to be accomplished by 2014. Zuma gave his State of the Nation address just last month and addressed his progress within the first few months of leadership. Zuma called 2010 a year of action and focused upon the South African economy, which is now facing its first recession in the last 17 years. He repeated many of his original goals set forth the year before and claimed the recession was causing complications on one of his main fronts, unemployment. However, some critics, like the Mail and Guardian, called Zuma avoidant of the true issues. In terms of the 3 goals I identified in my research, Zuma is currently not creating the proper mobilization in South Africa to solve its myriad of problems. With South Africa emerging on the world stage and participating more than ever, with events such as the 2010 World Cup, the Copenhagen Climate Summit, and in films such as Invictus and District 9, there needs to be the realization that this exposure will cause consequences.